Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Ocean State Aquatics TV. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the African Dwarf Frog, so let's get into it. African Dwarf Frogs are a great addition to any peaceful, smaller tank. They are very, very peaceful and stay on the smaller side. They actually only really get to about 3 inches in length. In the wild, these guys are actually found in shallow rivers and ponds, so they do best in planted tanks with very slow water movement. So these frogs actually spend all of their time underwater, so they never need to come up above, so you should never actually take them out, and especially you shouldn't handle them with your hand, because like with all frogs, they can transfer diseases to you, and also the oils on your hands can actually hurt their skin. So you want to make sure that you aren't touching them or handling them regularly, and you make sure that you don't want to take them out of your tank. They do best in planted tanks because they actually do need to breathe air, so they need to be able to swim up to the surface and be able to reach the surface. They do well hanging out on the top of plants and kind of lounging on big leaves, so that's why they do best with plants. And also they can't be in a tank with too much water movement because they are not really strong swimmers, so they won't be able to reach the surface. These frogs are also great additions to your tank because they have a lifespan for about 5 years, so you will definitely have them for a pretty long time. These frogs are very easy to take care of as well. They can exist in a pretty large temperature range, anywhere from 72 to 78 degrees, and they can handle a wide variety of pH as well, anywhere from 6.5 all the way up to 7.4. They do tend to be a little bit on the dirtier side, so I probably wouldn't put them in anything smaller than a 10-gallon, but in anywhere from a 10 to 20 gallon, you can definitely fit a few frogs in there. That being said, the ideal tank for them, at least in my opinion, is going to be a sandy substrate because they definitely are not the smartest, especially when it comes to eating. So these frogs actually won't swim up to the surface to eat, so flake food is not the best idea for them. They will eat any sort of sinking pellet, sinking wafer, anything that's going to be high in protein. They are meat eaters. Any sort of sinking pellet, they'll go for bloodworms, brine shrimp, mysis shrimp, spirulina brine, any sort of frozen foods they'll go for. We feed a lot of vibrobites here, and I find that the ones in our store really like to eat the vibrobites. They will go for mini sinking wafers, mini sinking pellets, any sort of small bite-sized food that will sink to the bottom. I personally think they do better on sand because as the food falls down to the bottom, it will rest on top of the sand so the frogs can actually go around and try to find it. Whereas if they're on gravel, it will actually go between the gravel. They won't really be able to see it as well, and I also have seen them try to eat the gravel before. Like I said, they are not the smartest. Keeping them on something either like sand or bare bottom is going to be the best. Another thing to keep in mind when choosing a food for them is they actually do not have any teeth, and they, unlike regular frogs, don't have a tongue either. So you want to make sure that you pick something that they can very easily eat, that they don't have to take big bites of. Another really interesting fact about them is that they actually exhibit sexual dimorphism. So the females are going to be a lot bigger than the males, and they're going to have a more of a pear-shaped body, as opposed to the males are going to be much smaller. Another interesting thing to note about if you do get them is that they do actually shed their skin. So don't be alarmed if you take them home and you see it looks like their skin's kind of shedding off. That is completely normal. They are so peaceful and they have a lot of character. They're a lot of fun to see swimming around, moving around the tank and foraging to the bottom. Another cool thing is they come in a lot of different colors, which we actually have in stock right now. So a lot of the ones you will typically see are going to be kind of brown with black spots on the back. So we have some of those in stock. We also have gold, which are going to be a lighter gold color, and we also have platinum right now, which are like completely solid white, which is really cool and something I've actually never seen before until we got this batch in. Since these guys are definitely not the brightest, you also want to monitor how much food you're giving them because they may not eat it all, and if you have uneaten food sitting on the bottom of the tank, it can negatively impact your water quality. So you want to make sure that you are watching how much food you're feeding them and watching whatever they don't eat and just taking a net and scooping it back out at the end. Other than that, these guys are pretty low maintenance. They don't really require anything special beyond that point. As long as they can reach the surface and they can get some food on the bottom, then they are good to go. They won't bug any of your fish. If you have a small, peaceful community tank that you're looking to add something new into, you should come into any of our stores and check them out. Like always, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember, keep it fishy.